Thank you very much, Rebecca. We all know the benefits of running and exercise. This is specifically not a talk about that, but it has been a big factor in getting involved. What got me started was back in 2011. Actually, I was watching a marathon. I was just standing on the sidelines. It looked like so many people were, taking part. To be fair, not particularly fit, and I thought I could do that. That's if they could do it, I can do it. And the following year, I was training like mad, and actually joined in a marathon. It was really good fun. Hang on, where am I? Yep, let me back up a bit. So this is me. I'm running with my park run, my local park run. They're really good friends of mine now, and that is what I really want to concentrate on, is the fact that I've made so many friends, and I've developed in so many ways just through getting involved. Brighton Marathon 2011. I was just watching from the sidelines. This looks like a professional photo, I like to think. But this was me. I was, I distanced myself. I was literally just watching from the sidelines, and so I was enjoying it, but not socialising as a part of it. Fast forward to the actual day of my marathon, and it was great fun. The training was pretty arduous, I have to admit. I don't actually recommend a marathon. They are hard work, but what actually got me around on the day was talking to other people who were running for the same charity as me. I spotted them. They were wearing the same sort of orange vest as me, and I'd spot one in the distance. I'd catch up, we'd chat for like 10 minutes, and then I'd generally overtake them. And that's what got me around. It was really good fun. And the very next day, I signed up for another marathon. Unfortunately, chest infection, backed out, and didn't run for several years afterwards. But you can run a easy 5K anywhere you like around the country. So I do want to talk about parkrun quite a lot today. This is the various locations up and down the country. 690 locations around the UK, and almost 2,000 around the world. All you have to do is register for a barcode. And the process is quite simple. So you find your local run. This is Ashford. You print out your barcode. No barcode, no time. Once you've crossed the finish line, they give you a token. You get that scanned, and then you get an email back telling you your results. And that is really good fun. And then of course you can you get your results. You can plot a graph. This is me over the course of from 2018 to current. So I'm not to boast, but I am. Exercise is making me faster. So I'm quite pleased with my time there. So my reasons for getting into it was, I was enjoying it back in 2011, but then I stopped running for like 5 years. What got me back into it was a horrendous and emotional breakup that I had summer 2018. I got kicked out of my place in a very sudden move, and I was trying to get an Airbnb place, so I actually had to take a selfie to set up the profile. So that was me, summer 2018. I thought I was smiling. Fast forward 3 months, and it wasn't getting any better. I thought I was smiling in both of these photos, and I was actually, so I had to move out. I lived with my dad for a while, my dad actually got me out of the house and got me back into running again. Massive hats off to him. This is my dad, up for anything, always a bit of a joker. And I'm actually with my other brothers just there. We made kind of a family thing of it. Unfortunately, my dad's health, running ability is not great. He's not exactly improved in his times. He's actually getting slightly slower with each run. But he got me back into it. He was instrumental in me getting involved. And so I was running basically for my mental health. I knew you run, it kicks in the endorphins. It will clear your head. And I put in music. I ran as fast as I could. I'd run so hard that I could only think about my breathing. Ran so fast that the pain in my legs and my chest was distracting me enough. So just to paint the mental picture, I was having insomnia, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, I've got hours to kill before work, and I went out for a run. So it was healthy, but I was doing it sort of overly. I forget the word. Too much. So then, if you ever use Strava, that's basically a app that will track your running. So I started running more and more and more, and around about August, I burnt out, and couldn't run anymore. I still wanted to stay involved, so I was going to park runs, and that's when I started to volunteer. So when you sign up for parkrun, they will send you emails all the time, and they always need volunteers. And there's loads of different ways to get involved. Like you put on a high vis, stand on a corner, and just cheer along. So this is actually just a selection of the various things that you can do. And I've done a fair few of them now. Actually, it is really good fun. So being a marshal is literally just cheering everybody on. You kind of have to watch out, if anyone's in trouble or something. But it's mostly standing around with other volunteers and cheering. Great fun. This is the finish line. So you'll have people with the stopwatch, and that is a very, I'd say, easy job. But you do have to kind of keep track of people. If you're a camera photography buff, then you can get involved in that way. This one, barcode scanning. I actually spoke to the scanner at the weekend. She said that she'd actually run around, and because she had a really fast time, she was able to volunteer as well as do her running. So you can get involved in many ways. Of course, once everyone hands the tokens back in, then they have to be sorted for the next week. That's remarkably therapeutic. Those are a couple of friends of mine just sorting the numbers back out again. The best thing about volunteering is the fact that you do get to make some really good friends easily. I've always learned the golden rules for making friends is 1, shared interest, 2, regular free time in each other's company, and 3, just say hello, and then you start making friends. This is Lee. He was funnel manager that day, and you can see it's a very strenuous job. He's got plenty of time to help out and just pose for a photo. So these are all the volunteers. They're just making friends and getting along quite nicely. So this is how I actually got involved with my running club, because the running club, they took over the park run one time. They said, right, we're going to fill every volunteer spot. And that's how I got introduced and joined up. That's me. Right in the middle. Volunteering. You don't actually have to be on volunteer. You could just hold one of the signs during the run brief. There's always a bit of silliness, and that's always good fun. Says getting involved and just being a bit silly, and you end up with so many friends you can barely see yourself in the selfies. It's great fun. So my running club, they're not normally this large. This was a particularly large night out. I I think there was 36 people on that particular run, but normally it's like a nice sort of small 10, 12 people, and as you're running, you're kind of chatting and you're getting to know people. It's emotionally really uplifting. So yeah, I had one of the most stressful weeks ever last week. I'm in. Never mind. But I was really considering why am I giving this presentation, and then I went for a run on Saturday morning, and it was so uplifting. I was like, you just reminded me, yes, this really can uplift your spirits. So there's me, and I can now count all of these guys as my running club friends, and it's so there's a small select group of my running club friends who we also now we go on our own individual runs before a park run. It was pouring with rain a couple of weekends ago, and we absolutely we were shrieking our heads off. We just ran 10K soaked to the bone, but had a brilliant time. And International Women's Weekend yesterday, Sunday. And we were all getting involved and having a great time. Just the emotional connection. You can only really start to have it once you get involved. So basically, it doesn't really matter whether you're exercising and running or if you're doing any other activity that kind of gets you out of the house, gives you an opportunity to volunteer and join a club, and that's when you can make friends and you can really benefit. So, and with that, that's me. I'm happy to take any questions now.
Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you for what I think was a very honest, uplifting and open story. But I think it's fantastic that you've found something that's really helped you, both the running and the volunteering, and I think that's a really great story for us to take away. Has anybody got any questions? Can I ask a question then? Okay. Absolutely. So I don't run. What if I wanted to run? What would be the first thing that you would advise me to do?
First thing, I would say go to Parkrun and get a barcode. You can. So 5K. It sounds like a long distance, but you don't have to run it. You can actually walk the whole way around. No one is ever last. There's always a tail walker who will make sure you're not the last person around. And if you really don't want to do a 5K, there are groups that do couch to 5K, and they will take you up to that distance. And there are always going to be running clubs near you. So find your local running club and join in. And I did a short run just last night, actually, only 2 miles, which is totally manageable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I feel quite inspired. I might go and find it. Anybody else got any questions? Gosh, everyone's very quiet. You can type into the conversation box if you don't want to say it out loud.
I'm curious to know how many park runners there are in stand tickets and how many people who are listening.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting to know. I know that the number of runners is well in the millions.
Yeah, indeed.
So
how give statistics of how many times they've run to the moon and back effectively all the park runs.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea.
40, I think it was 40 or something for all the park runs. Everyone has done together to get to the moon 40 times.
Yeah.
Back. I might be wrong. I have to check that. But
so there's a few people.
I do a park run. I have to admit I've done it a bit less frequently since having kids, but it's been good. It's really good. We're into the community.
Yeah.
So I've got Henry Metcalf is a park runner. Alison Knight has done 61 park runs so far.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Henry Metcalf sits just in my office.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at Park Run last weekend. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And I know, Alison, you've just recently started running as well, I think, and volunteers. Well done, Alison.
I highly recommend it for everyone. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And I do know of other people, perhaps on the call, that do park runs. So.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There's lots of things you could do to get involved if you're not a runner. In fact, one of my favourites is literally just after the run, sorting the tokens out afterwards is so therapeutic. And yeah, if you're, say, you've got a journalistic kind of lilt, you can also write a run report, and that gets published around to your for the park run. So you can say, weather was nice or weather was horrendous and everyone did a great job and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And who sees those stories? Anyone taking part?
Yeah, anyone taking part, that they get emailed around along with your race results, that sort of thing. And if there's a lot of social media involvement as well.
Cool.
So yeah,
right.
It's good fun.
Brilliant. So there's a couple of people who said great presentation, Gwen, as well. So that's really cool. Okay. So, well, if there's no more questions, I think we'll leave it there. Yeah.
Super.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much, Gwen.
No problem. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.